steps up. Ricketts is at the high point. Jones. Aromaterio has a lane. Nicholas Aromaterio, the shot. Scores! Holy jumping! The Italian stallion puts the puck in the back of the net. Mamma mia, Nicholas Aromaterio! So to keep it in and does. Callum Jones for Potts. At the blue line, kept in by the skate of Thomas Maya. Maya. Down low on the half course, he swings out in the slot for Potts. Kyle Potts has it, hangs on, now he shoots, scores! Holy jumping! How do you do? Kyle Potts puts the puck in the back of the net. Blades block that shot, and coming the other way is Alton McDermott. He's in on the breakaway, scores! Holy jumping! His grandfather, Paul Henderson, must be ecstatic about that one because Alton McDermott just scored his first career Buckland Cup final playoff goal. Has been pulled. The Dukes are in the Oakville zone. Zone salvage. Swung that around. The Blades are trying to tie this puck up. It goes into the corner. The Blades have a chance to get this out. Lions will tie it up. 10 seconds. Gilmore has it at the point. It's in. 6. Just wide. 7 seconds. It's back in the corner. Ewing's back in. 3, 2, 1. The Oakville Blades. Champion. Holy jumping. Blades win. Blades win. Blades win. The Oakville Blades are Buckland Cup champions.
You're watching Mamma Mia! This is Fire Talk with Nicholas Fiore.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode number 9 of Mamma Mia. This is Fire Talk. I'm Nicholas Fiore, the Oakville Blades play-by-play broadcaster, and joining me now is Mike Tarantino, the new general manager of the Collingwood Blues. Mike, thanks for joining.
No problem, Nick. Love your intro.
Hey, it's got to be one of the best in the OJ, right? You've known.
That's right, buddy.
So, Mike, first of all, how have the wife and the kids been during this tough time, COVID?
You know what? Everybody's been good, healthy. Obviously, nothing to complain about. Time's a little challenging keeping the kids occupied and busy, but that's nothing. Nothing that anybody else doesn't have to deal with children. So everybody's healthy, everybody's good. So we're just looking forward to getting back to our normal life here eventually.
Hopefully normal life is coming sooner rather than later, but I'm happy and glad all of you are doing well. Obviously, you've had your playing experience as well, playing 4 years NCAA Division III, 4 years with the Blades in the OJHL, recording 171 points in the NCAA in 103 games, 134 points in 89 games with the Blades. With all of that experience and all of those connections made in those levels, especially with NCAA, how does that translate into how much you've done for so many kids and how much you continue and want to continue to move these kids on to the next level, obviously now with Collingwood?
Well, I mean, I don't know necessarily that it's always, everything kind of translates, right? Like, so you have your playing experience, you learn certain things from playing regardless level. I mean, college, OHL, pro, whatever, you learn certain things, what coaches did that you liked and maybe what they didn't like. And then down the NCAA, I got to learn a little bit how those programs are run in terms of from behind the scenes, the recruiting side of it, just taking campus and campus tours and reaching out and that kind of stuff. So the recruiting process is at that level is very in depth. And then really a lot of it just comes from, experience, either being an assistant coach early in my career to a head coach, to a GM, back to a head coach, to a GM. And you kind of learn, you take someone with you every year. And I think you do that, if you approach every opportunity every year as a learning opportunity, you tend to, add something to your own personal skill set, either from someone you've worked with or maybe a competitor or something you've learned in experience. So if you do those things, hopefully the idea is to get there at the job.
You started coaching right away, right in 04-05 with Bowling Green State University. Why the decision to start coaching as an assistant coach with them right after you were done with Rochester Institute of Technology?
Well, basically, I mean, I didn't have an NHL contract sitting in front of me, but I had a couple minor league East Coast offers. And listen, it's one of those things where a lot of my buddies who played, who did the same thing, either played in the U.S. down south. Some of them live down south. You had BX on here. Just he brought up the Oakville Burlington thing. I played against him, so his good buddy actually played college with me. They had a tough time shutting down our line. I wish I would have got on there first and gave him a little bit of the gears there, because me, Bobby Jaggard, and Mike Lukacic, we've caused some problems for them. But anyway, that's just tongue-in-cheek, some fun. But at the end of the day, I chose to go get my MBA, more again from an educational point of view. I knew I was going to, originally I wanted to get into coaching full-time. I had a couple prep school jobs and a couple of NCAA jobs, mostly at the Division III level, waiting after I was finished Bowling Green. And then once kind of you learn that, I think there's been a couple articles written about it, but that NCAA assistant coach job is a grind. It isn't like being in a assistant coach job, even in the CHL, because in the CHL you have a draft, right? So once you have your draft, you have your players, and some free agents. You might be looking at certain places like draft or something like that. But with NCAA, they literally every weekends win that job all year. Win that job. It used to be kind of a 9-month-a-year job where nobody would recruit summer. Now there's always showcases in the summer. There's a U17, there's the World Selects, there's the Hockey USA kind of thing. So it's that, and at some point, maybe depending on which way you look at it, one of my strengths was I was trying to do things maybe 5 years down the road and how they're going to potentially play out. And I just didn't see myself really wanting to sacrifice my entire life to on the road to recruit. Those guys, again, were also divorced and stuff. You kind of got to learn the inner side of the behind the scenes of the business. And I almost used the movie The Wire as an example. You're probably for that movie. But, it sounds fun, like to be an NCAA coach or an OHL coach or any of those stuff. And don't get me wrong, I've in the last 5 years, I considered switching careers to get into that. It's a grind. It eats you up. People who get into it for too long tend to sometimes leave. You can only do it so much. Like I can use examples all over the place. Like McFarland, who was the assistant coach of the Leafs, just took the head coaching job in Kingston, right? So you're in the NHL. He's a hometown boy, right? And assistant, he wanted to be a head coach because it's a grind. Again, he's got probably a young family that he's looking for. The new Dartmouth coach was the assistant coach of the Boston Capitals, right? So at some point you want a little bit of stability. Maybe I'm a little too safe in some of my decisions, but I thought it was a good family job for myself, and I got into coaching. I love it. It doesn't need to be my primary source of income. I'll stay involved where as long as I live, and maybe someday I'll look to make it a primary thing. But I'm also getting older, right? So we'll see how that works out.
You've won 2 Buckland Cups, one as a general manager with the Toronto Patriots in 2013, 2014, and obviously 2 years ago with the Oakville Blades, your first as a head coach. Let's talk about a bit of the run with the Blades and how special was that group that eventually you led all the way to the national semis.
Well, we knew we were going to have a good club coming in from the get-go there with the players we had returning. So, and then, when you go to a team here, you kind of, there's different ways. There are teams who look to build every year and kind of reload, kind of the New York Yankees approach, where, you look outside and try to bring in all these pieces. And then there's, I kind of say the Moneyball approach, or the Oakland Athletics. And to me, I think you need to do a combination of both. where you have a lot of your core pieces already in the organization, and hoping guys step up each year. And then if there's a piece that you're missing, you want to bring it in potentially through a trade organization. So with that team, we had a great core returning. There was a couple players that we lost later in the summer the year before, such as Bailey Newton, who got a deal to Huntsville. So we had to replace him back in, which isn't easy to do. Andrew McIntyre, a kid that, again, potentially we kind of thought was coming back, went into St. Lawrence. So we lost those two guys there. But with that, it's funny, you kind of look back on it. If McIntyre came back, we might have not gone after some of the forwards that we did, right? Because obviously he would have taken up a position there. Same thing with Newt. It really was kind of how we got Jonesy, right? Because we were friends and the Appleby connection. And once Newt was here and kind of realized the type of player we were looking for, he Jonesy on us. I remember watching Jonesy at Appleby, lost 10-1 to Sac. And at no point did anybody on Appleby losing it. Well, I guess it's tough to look good if you lose 10-1, right? So, but, we've all been there throughout the career there. So that's how the team went. And then we just had a good group of kids. And we kind of, maybe got a little lucky with Putz coming back there and making a couple deals at the deadline to bring in Louis and Romo. Barber really came in as a good recruit, and him and Elliott battled throughout the year to push each other. And so some things fell in place, and everything gelled, and then everybody kind of put their personal goals to an extent. We're team first, I guess. You always hear that they're team first players, and accomplishing that championship.
And obviously, you're now with the Collingwood Blues with a few other staff members of the Blades of 2 years ago. We'll touch upon that within the next few minutes. But winning in Oakville, from Oakville, living in Burlington, that's that Burloak area. What did winning in Oakville mean to you, and what did Oakville mean to you overall over eventually these 6 years you were with the Blades?
Well, it's funny because the reason I wasn't the head coach with the Patriots that last year, and I brought in Jason Forge, was because my daughter was born, right? So it kind of goes back to the same thing. Just life balance, hockey, work kind of there. And what Oakville did is they approached me to come in and obviously I teach high school in Oakville, so it was about 5 minutes from my job. So it was probably one of the only organizations that I could have coached that would have worked decently well for my family, right? Because the drive into Toronto would have been a little too much, given the family commitment and work commitment. So that was fun. Oakville at the time didn't make the playoffs. I think they lost the play-in game. They finished 9th and they lost that 8-9 play-in game there. So, we kind of started again from scratch a little bit. And the same thing with the Patriots. When we went in there, they didn't make, they won 9 games the year before. And you start from scratch. Hopefully build it up. So getting the opportunity to coach and the Blades and then went to school. So really it was the only organization minor hockey. So it was kind of cool coaching the organization that playing for. Growing on and moving on, and it was a little bit rewarding to be part of helping them win a championship. Like my brother played for the Blades. My dad, believe it or not, back in the day used to be a GM there for a year or two, which is I still tease him about because it kind of doesn't seem real to me, right? Because he's your father, and to me, he's just that's it, right? You're always tougher on your parents. But it was fun. There was a lot of great time there, and I'm looking forward to kind of hopefully repeating the same thing here with Collingwood.
So, and that leads, me a segue into the next question. Obviously, sometimes time run out at certain places and in life in general, and especially in sports. And especially, yourself and Jordan Sullinger, Cole Crane, Robin Tavena, you guys all going to Collingwood. Just speak on your behalf. Of course, I'm going to talk to the couple of the boys as well. Why Collingwood? And was there any other options, or what made you excited about choosing the Blues?
Well, there was always people kicking the tires, right? Kicking tires in terms of opportunities. And for me, obviously with Jamie coming in, it was a new role for me, something that I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy or not enjoy, but I thought, you know what, let's give it a shot behind the scenes. And I was also involved with the minor hockey team, with the U18 team, which I got to coach. And really, coaching was kind of my passion there. I thought at times it was difficult to do both, because now you get 2 seasons into commitment in terms of that. What all it offered was something that, that I was looking for a while now. To me, just given there's a lot of things. One, the ownership group there, as I get to know Dave and so what Collingwood has is they have an owner involved who's really tied into the town. So with Collingwood, we have a board of directors. Board of directors consist of the mayor, who consist of the minor hockey coordinator, consist of the former mayor, who's actually our education advisor. The mayor's wife, Susie Saunderson, is our billet coordinator, and basically the town as a whole is supporting the team. And you have all these stakeholders that are looking out for them, for their kind of constituents, but also looking at it from a Hockeywood point of view. I'd love to, with Rob there, I wanted a full-time coach. I wanted a full-time program. I knew I wasn't going to be able to do that given my career and family situation. I think Benty is an excellent coach in terms of his ability of teaching and over the years, I guess, tactical development. But he's very firm. The players respect him. He holds players accountable, and he really is a teacher. I mean, he's done hockey his entire life. So with that program, for the players out of school, one of the things with most programs in the GTA is that it's tough to get ice during the day. And this is why when we go to compete against teams out west, maybe we're at a little slight disadvantage, right? Because they'll have full-time head coaches and full-time ice throughout the day. So up there, the resources were available. So the players outside of school would lift at 9 a.m. with our strength coach. We'll go on the ice at 11. We'll grab breakfast at the rink. We'll go on the ice at 11 with skills. Do maybe a little small individual video session, have a couple hours of downtime, and then a team practice. So that's something that I couldn't provide because of my day job. That's something that it's tough to do in the GTA because of ice time costs, because of the cost for an hour of ice. Up there, it's a possibility and something that we're going to take advantage of. So it's our program in terms of development. You can be literally full-time hockey that we can, players, they're not for I've seen this with guys I've coached, and 19 or 20-year-olds will sleep into 12 or 1 p.m. right? And I'm not going to say any names here, but you could tell them in practice and their hair is all messy, and they just rolled out of bed and they're playing Fortnite all night. We want to keep guys focused on their goal. If they really, really want to achieve moving, playing at the next level, they're going to have to commit to that. I think it's better to stress because of it, and it's something that I'm really looking forward to. Benty's moving up there. That's his full-time job now, right? He'll be situated in again with minor hockey, but he'll be at the rink, 8 to 4 or 8 to 6, I guess, doing that, making sure guys are held accountable. So unfortunately, guys aren't going to be sleeping into noon because they were playing. I use Fortnite because all these kids play this. I don't know any of this stuff. I'm too old for that, but that's what I hear. And that's it. And then you add to the other side of it, the rink, the fan support. They had just tops in the OJ. You're starting to the whole little junior experience outside of the on ice stuff. And then selfishly, and I always joke around with this, I talked to my wife about it. Collingwood's a nice spot. Like we got engaged up in Collingwood. We have friends who live close there. We go up there golfing. We'll go up in the winter. There's nothing there, so it's it's something that I can bring my family up on maybe on a Friday night game night and spend the weekend there and have a little hockey slash family vacation for a weekend or something along the lines. So there is that life aspect to it as well. But everything seemed to kind of check the boxes in terms of what I was looking for from a hockey perspective. Really the big thing was that this is available. It's good to develop that and, what everybody's on board. I know I'm the trail manager, and sometimes things that, I'm part of the team. Jordan, Cole, Nick Riga, where Josh Gratton, who just finished playing, is going to come in, right? And then there's all these other people that are behind the scenes, like our board of directors, like our ownership, people who do the marketing day and stuff. So everybody's a kind of a part of it, right? So that allows us to put together a good product on the ice, but also fun doing it.
And obviously, year one hopefully is coming up, and hopefully the season doesn't get delayed for yourself in Collingwood. But for you, what do you expect out of year one? Let's just say on the ice, with obviously basically a new staff, a lot of new young kids coming in, and a whole different kind of atmosphere in Collingwood.
Well, I think our expectations are very high, right? I don't think any team goes in there and says, hey, we got low expectations this year, right? So not anyone that I know of anyway. So our expectations are high. We'll probably be a tad younger than most clubs, but we think we have a lot of skill, a lot of speed, and good quality kids that will compete in every game. But at the end of the day, I look at it this way. We'll probably be a little green the first month or so, and we might have a little bit of bumps along the road. But you don't win anything in the first month of the year, right? So at the end as the season progresses, as long as we're trending in the right direction, that's what I'm looking for, right? And I'm confident with the staff that we have involved, with with really the hockey staff and the behind the scenes staff, with the program that we're running, and with the players that we have involved. I think we're going to trend in the right direction. And I think you always want to be that team that people don't really look forward to playing, right? You want to be that team that they see on the calendar, like, yeah, you got to play them. We can beat them. Maybe they can beat us, but they get a little bit in there, and that takes some time. But I think if you can become that team, that maybe you got a little bit of an advantage already. So that's the team we kind of want to become.
I spoke with the OJHL commissioner, Marty Savoy, in the inaugural episode of the show, and he gave me a bit of an update on the return to play. Has anything changed with the OJ, with Hockey Canada, that you're allowed to say, that you can say in regards to the return to play?
Well, I'll give you my opinion on it, and you take it with a grain of salt. And I don't want anybody holding me to it by any means, because obviously I don't work for the league, and definitely don't work for the government. But to my understanding on this here, as soon as we're able to play a game, and what you need to do to that is you need to have enough bodies allowed inside. So outside the GTA, we just went to stage 3. So up in Collingwood, we can have up to 100 people inside a building. So we could run skates now, right? We could do that technically. They're still not allowed any contact, right? So I believe you need to get to stage 4. It might be stage 5, but stage 4 to have body contact. But let's just say hypothetically that was because you got to think outside the GTA is going to open up before inside the GTA is, right? And we're seeing that right now. So outside the GTA is stage 3, inside the GTA is stage 2. As soon as we can get to the body contact part of it, then we're able to start. And what you might find with that is some of your GTA teams might have a limit on attendance because of the capacity that they could have inside. And don't quote me on this, I'm looking at other out east in provinces, is that I believe you go from 100 to potentially 250, right, when you get into that body contact. So if the GTA gets to 250, but maybe that's stage 4, stage 5, and outside the GTA, maybe you're at 500. I still think there's going to be protocols in place in terms of the social distancing, in terms of the processes I look at the grocery store example, right? Like think of how many people go in and out in a grocery store, and you kind of got to follow the line, right? Maybe you got to wash your hands, maybe you got to wear a mask. There's going to be these protocols in place. But I know what our commissioner said is that as soon as we can, without fans, we will start. And that might not mean without fans. It might be with limited fans in the GTA. And then, there's going to be capacities that you can deal with. And where that puts us as maybe a slight advantage over other leagues is that some other leagues can't operate without having their attendance full, right? Like you look at the OHL, they can't operate a team without having at least 3,000 fans in an arena. Well, 3,000 is a big difference from 3,000 to 500, right? In terms of what you're allowed to have indoors there, in terms of that. So, we'll wait and see. We're optimistic that we're going to have our guys up in Collingwood shortly, and it might just be skates and whatever we're allowed to do as per the government and the region restrictions. And then once the other regions open up, and again, it'll probably be Toronto last, right? Then once they're available, then we start the games. I can tell you that nobody's really going to, we're not starting games without all of our teams being a part of the league, right? In terms of that. That's it. And I can't comment on Buffalo because I have no idea what the border is going to be.
Yeah, and no one does. They just extended it right till –
Exactly. So that's that one there I'm not going to comment on. People can speculate, but I have no idea.
And there's going to be speculation. That's –
Oh, they're on it, 100%, right?
OJHL broadcasters as well. That's
I just had an NCAA school reach out to me, asking me when we were starting, and I said, listen, I'm optimistic for, a certain date, and then they told me that they heard the BC League was starting December 1st. But I don't know when you can give those dates, right?
And that's the thing too, because I spoke to a few of the boys, Israels and Ricketts, that you coached obviously 2 years ago, and they said that they're going to their D1 schools basically middle of August. So everything is
right. And the US is different. The US is they're different approach than us, and it's
it is.
We can't control what they do. So
that's for sure. We're totally different in that way. Listen, Tino, since I've came, and my partner as well, Ice, Matt Ahmedzai, a few years ago, you guys have been great. The staff has been great. You've been fantastic with us, and I just want to say best of luck in Collingwood. I'm going to miss you around the rink, that's for sure. But I'm glad to say that not just we worked together, we won together, but I call you guys all my friends now, and I appreciate that very much. So thanks for tuning in, and thanks for joining me on this episode.
No problem, Nick. Anytime. All the best, buddy.
Thank you, everybody. Mike Tarantino, the Oakville Blade, former Oakville Blade, and now Collingwood Blues general manager on episode 9 of Mamma Mia! This is Fire Talk. I'm Nicholas Fiore, the broadcast voice of the Oakville Blades. Tune in because we could have a few more Blues staff members joining us on episode number 10. Thank you, everybody. Follow us on all social media platforms. That's Mike Tarantino. I'm Nicholas Fiore. Mamma Mia! Now Davis takes it and looks to come the other way. Davis is in, trying to drive, and he will look to go across. Good play to Davis, though, to get it right back to him. He goes down low to Israels. Centering, it's there. Score! Stevie! Steven Whittle scores his first OJHL playoff goal for the Oakville Blades. This game is opening up in a big way for both teams. Ricketts centering, what a pass, Israel's breakaway, the move, scores! What a goal for the Alaska Fairbanks commit, the assistant captain, Harrison Israels, with an absolute dandy. Down low to Lyons, Jack Lyons centering, scores! The double jacks combine as that puck popped up like a jack in a box, and it's Jack Ricketts from Jack Lyons. 6-1 on the 40th shot of the game. It's all Oakville.
Colette Smith hits it in. A chance here can develop, but the Blades will look to take it. And Ricketts finds Israels. Breakaway Israels. A chance backhand. Rebound. Scores! And the Oakville Blades win it here in Toronto.
That was Mamma Mia! This is Fire Talk with Nicholas Fiore. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for the next episode.